Hello everybody and welcome back to the Empire Let's Play world. Today we are going to finish that bridge project, but before we get started I want to show you a little bit of work I did between episodes. So if you joined me on the live stream, you saw that we did a bit of work on the road, and I also did a little bit of work over here to get ready to kind of receive the road once it connects up. Still a bit of work to do here yet, but I'm figuring it out. During the live stream, we worked exclusively over here, and it took a couple of hours, but it doesn't feel like I got very much done. So you can see here as we get over this hill here that the road is getting much closer. So the road is going to climb up here a bit, and then this is what we got done during the live stream. And thanks to everybody who popped in. It was nice to have some company and to chat and all that. So just sort of cuts across the landscape here. And I did a tiny bit of terraforming just to kind of clean this up. And you can see the road comes along and connects back up here with Mingus and then off to the Southland. While we were live streaming, we were visited by a wandering trader, but they didn't have anything good. I would really love to find a wandering trader that has pale oak saplings so we can get some of that pale oak wood, but we'll get there eventually. A little later in the episode, I would like to get the maps that we got from the cartographer and see if we can track down the Snowy Village and the Taiga Village. But first, we're going to get to work on the bridge. I did a lot of mining between episodes, so I've got some deep slate, and we'll just finish the towers first of all. And then, as you can see, I've got some netherrack kind of stacked up. I've been kind of stressing out about how to do the suspension cables, and I got a little bit of an idea that if I just built up a diagonal, so from the point of this tower, just built a diagonal down, and then I did it on the other side as well. So from the other side of this tower, I built a diagonal down. And then what I kind of thought was maybe if I built a diagonal from here as well, I could sort of figure out how the cable is going to kind of slack in between. It's going to take some finagling and some finessing. Hopefully I'll be able to figure it out. But first things first, let's get these towers installed on our bridge. Those towers look pretty great, I think. Still need to put some permanent light on top of them, and I might connect them across the top a little bit, but I'll play with that later. Next thing I want to figure out is the suspension cable. I'm going to use andesite because I want it to be a little bit lighter, so it's not quite as contrasty with the sky. And I think we're mostly going to just use slabs because we're going at this weird diagonal. We got a couple of stacks of andesite, so I'm going to make some slabs to start. So you can see here, I just sort of stepped the netherrack up. The diagonal is actually a block or two off the actual bridge, so I might have to figure out how I'm going to connect this up. So let's hop all the way up to the top and start working our way back down on this particular cable and see if we can figure it out. This, I think, is going to be the easy one. Just needs to come from the top. Whoa, almost fell off. Down there. And then perhaps we could come up with some sort of like anchor point, like a mini tower down there just to connect it to. Okay, so this, I think, oh boy, I don't know. I think this is where it's going to start. And then it can't go down in half steps or else it won't make it all the way down. We're going to have to go in full steps, I think. Okay, take two here. So what if we use full blocks? So we'll go like that, that. We'll definitely be able to tell once we're done with this whether or not we like it. Again, going at this diagonal, I don't know that we have a lot of options. Well, it's hard to tell from here. It's funny, I thought the half slabs would look skinnier, but then I realized as I started laying them out that if I'm doing half slabs, the run of cable needs to be twice as long because we're only moving half a block at a time. From over here, that does not look bad. It actually is a nice color, goes up at a reasonable angle. This is going to be trickier, though. This is going to be a lot trickier. And, you know, once we get the suspenders coming down, that might sell it a little bit more. So let's go ahead and do the one on the other end, the other easy one, and then we'll see if we can figure this bit out here. All right, moment of truth. I think that looks all right. Once we mirror this on the other side of the bridge, I think that'll help sell it a little bit. Again, the one I'm a little bit worried about is this hanging cable in between the two towers. I need to get that just right or else it's going to look kind of goofy and wonky. This is kind of difficult to show off, but this is the original diagonal that we were coming down, and then I just went straight across with it. And then over here, you can see I've started to kind of finagle it a little bit. And what I did is I figured out where the center point is, which is right here. So there's 26 blocks on that side and 26 blocks on this side. And so instead of going over and then zagging up, what I've done is gone about 4 blocks, then about 4 blocks, and about 3 blocks, and just keep stepping it up a little bit. And I think it looks better. Hopefully, you'll be able to see it from over here. Yeah, definitely. So on this side, you can see just coming straight down diagonal like we were doing over here. And then I had cut across. And now I've just started to work in that curve. And I think if I mirror it on this side, that's going to look pretty convincing. All right. Still going to have to figure out how we're going to make this cable and the suspenders attached to the bridge. I might just add one block to the edge, maybe a block every other block. We'll figure it out. Don't have enough andesite that I can just let this stuff sit down here, so I'm grabbing it real quick. And then we'll see if we can do the suspension cable on the other side. With 10 pieces of andesite left, we've got us a suspension cable. And I think it looks pretty good. Pretty happy with how it's hanging between the two towers, and then it comes down on either side and is anchored into the mountain or hillside. Once we get the suspenders in there, I think that's going to really kind of sell it and give it a lot more detail. And so I think that's the next thing we're going to work on. We are going to use iron bars for the suspenders. I think that might look really, really good. So I think what I'm going to try is do a suspender every 10 blocks. So between the sets of towers, we've got 52 blocks here. So that would mean about 5 suspenders here. And then on the ends, we would have 2 suspenders. So I'm going to give it a shot, see what it looks like. Well, it turned out that 10 spaces was a bit much, and I shrank it down to 5 spaces, and I think it looks really good. I also figured out a little decorative element here to make them look like they're attached, and then in front of each of these decorative elements, I just put a little wall right here, and I think I'm going to put a lantern on each of those. That'll keep the bridge nice and bright. And then eventually we'll get up top, remove these torches, and maybe we'll put some glow lichen or something up there just to keep things from spawning up there. But I think we are well on our way here. Big reveal. There it is. I'm really happy with it. Turned out pretty great. The suspension cable looks good. The suspenders look good. There's a lot of light on the bridge, and so it really pops at night, which looks fantastic. I like the colors. I've never built a suspension bridge before, so I'm pretty proud of that. And it's probably the biggest bridge I've ever built, so that's pretty cool as well. Eventually, the road will come through here and turn in this direction. And this is what it looks like when you're walking on it. So tons of light, maybe too much light to be completely honest. I could probably eliminate every other one and it would still be plenty spawn proof. And then eventually the road will continue on this side and go off in this direction towards our portal and the next town. Let's grab our map, do a little updating there. And there it is. That looks really cool. Speaking of maps, the next thing I want to do is grab the maps that we got from our cartographer and go track down the Taiga Village and the Snowy Village. Those are going to be over here in our chest. So we've got the Taiga Village map, got the Snowy Village map, and I'm also going to take our world map so we can expose some of that. We're also going to do one more thing that I'm a little bit ashamed about. We've got these deep slate ore here. Let's go ahead and mine those. Nice. I am going to make a diamond sword. And the reason I'm going to do that is, one, I'm just not very good with the mace yet. And two, if we end up in trouble, I'd be really bummed out if I lost the mace because we got killed somewhere out in the middle of nowhere. So I'm going to take the mace for now and put it in our little valuables chest over here. Our diamonds in here. Let's go do some exploring. So you can see here that we are pretty well in line with both the Taiga Village and the Snowy Village. They are just off to the east. So I'm going to sleep when the sun goes down. I'm going to grab a bed, and then we'll head off into the woods. All right, we got our bed. Well, we're already starting to expose some of the map. That's a lot of sweet berries. Nope, I think I see it through the woods here. Of course, it's right next to a ravine. Ah, it's over here too. Wow, it's a big village. Oh, it's right next to another ravine. Pumpkin pie. All right. Weird. This is weird too. Weird. Weird. Well, that's a very buggy and peculiar village. Lots of strange generation. Not only colliding with all of these ravines, but like the roses growing through the cobble and stuff like that. Very, very weird. Yeah, that's a big old ravine there. Well, I think I'm going to trap a couple of villagers just so that they are safe. And then once we get over here, I think a lot of this we're just going to have to demolish. It's not very well organized. It's really uneven and just doesn't make a lot of sense at all. Well, we are not all that far away from Coltrane. We're just kind of a little bit east. As far as the Snowy Village map, We seem to be a little further south than we were before, so we will head back north and see if we can track it down. Wow. It's weird how close it is to a non-snowy area. Yeah, and there's definitely another village right up there. It's a lot of villagers. I went ahead and locked up a couple villagers over here, so once we make our way this far, we can make sure some of them are safe. And yeah, likely do a similar thing where we'll tear a lot of this down and make some sense out of it. This village is actually far enough east that we've gone off the map. So we might have to expand our world map again. Yep, Plains Village. There's a portal, and it looks like there might be another pretty big mountain over there. The ice spikes biome is a pretty lucky find, just in case we ever need some ice. Weird. There's a polar bear. That might be another village. Yeah, looks like it, doesn't it? Now we're going off the top of the map. Yeah, definitely another snowy looking village. Has that lodge sort of look. I think that might be our hill that Coltrane's up on top of. And another ravine. Yep, there we are. Well, one thing's for sure, it's going to be very interesting trying to figure out where the road is going to go. Because this whole thing, this whole bluff, this whole mountain that we're on top of is pretty steep on the other sides back there. Well, we've got some options. We could go off to the east and explore the taiga and the snowy villages, or we could go off to the west and we could explore the jungle and desert villages. You know, each will have its merits. You know, the desert and jungle will have a different build style than a snowy village would. Same with the taiga village. So, yeah, leave me a comment. Let me know if one of the villages is more interesting than the other and which one we should start to work toward. And I think that's where I'm going to wrap this one up. If you want to be like these folks and help support the channel, click join down below. Membership starts at 99 cents and it really helps me out. And thanks for watching. I hope you had fun. Please like and subscribe if you want to follow along on the adventure. And I hope to see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.